Hi, today I'd like to talk to you about a few more coins I've got, silver coins in particular. These are all sort of commemorative coins from Britain. Now this one is the Great Fire of London. Now this was issued as a circulating coin as well as a £2 coin in sort of copper and nickel, while this one is actually silver with some highlights of gold on it. 1666 was the Great Fire. It happened after a plague of 1665. It was supposed to be in a baker's shop. Maybe his candle fell over, or he didn't put the fire out as much as he should have done. So it was a big fire. First of all, people didn't think it was much of a fire. I think the king of the time said he could piss it out or something like that. But there's a great novelist called Pepys. He wrote about his about the fire, saying that he had to hide his cheese, his wheels of cheese or something, and other things. So he gave quite a big account of the fire. It destroyed most of the city of London, the old city, which was a medieval city, so it was all wooden buildings, overhanging buildings, so there wasn't much clearance between the buildings, and it burnt down lots of churches, especially St. Paul's Cathedral, which was a medieval structure. So this gave rise to a number of, after the fire, the monarch, Charles II, he wanted to rebuild it in a very, with straight lines, a bit like Paris was rebuilt after the 1870s, after the Napoleonic War, the Franco-Prussian War. But because everybody had their own little plot of land, none of them wanted to give it up, and so each of them started building on their own little plot of land. So it became, the roadways and the houses became the same. They were a more modern style. They were of the old medieval roadways and street lanes. So even when you go around the city today, it is a sort of most of it is built in the 17th century and later. They've still got little alleyways that reflect, and also the curves of the road reflect the old medieval period. So that's the Great Fire of London, 1666. So this is the coin to commemorate it. These comes in these the Royal Mint is the main one that makes all the coinage for circulation in Britain. The Royal Mint with the coat of arms. So it comes in this nice box. And then it gives you a certificate which tells you that that is number 1109. It's 2006, 350th anniversary. And then it gives you all the details if you want to have a look of the what's it made of, and its weight and stuff like that, specifications. And also it gives you a little leaflet. This is quite a nice little leaflet of the, especially here you can see the old medieval St. Paul's. Wren was the guy who then rebuilt it after the fire, and that is the St. Paul's we see today. The Great Fire of London. And that's a famous line about the Great Fire, the little nursery rhyme, very similar to London Bridge is falling down. London's burning, fetch the engines. That's how it goes. Some more pictures of what it would have looked like. Again, if you want to stop and read. And it's Pudding Lane now. There is a very tall structure that you can go up, and it's the It's the monument. They call it the monument. There's also a underground station called the monument. You get off to get to this place. And it is the area where the Great Fire is supposedly have started. So there, some more information about the Great Fire. And there's Samuel Pepys, who wrote about it. Because nobody took it seriously at the beginning, and that's why it sort of took hold. And it was about 3 or 4 days of burning. And there's the Tower of London that was saved from the fire, but nearly all of the rest of the city was burnt down. There's some more pictures of people on the water. The Thames is it's spelt Thames, but people call it Thames sometimes, but it is Thames, that's the way to say it, even though it's TH. And TH in English is usually th. It's not Thames, it is Thames for some reason. I believe it's one of the few. And that's the amount of the city that was burnt. So you can see Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, 4 days of burning most of the city. So it was a very big city, or big part of the city that was completely burnt down and needed to be rebuilt. And there's the new St. Paul's. Some more information, quite a lot of information on this one. And then a bit about the designer of the coin. There's no little silhouette of it. So quite a nice little coin and information. So then we go through the ages. So let's have a look at this one. Again, it's nice royal mint box. The Sapphire Jubilee, 1952 to 2017. It's about the devotion. Now, England, or United Kingdom since the Union in about 1700, has had some ups and downs with its monarchies. Some have been good and some have been not so good. The Elizabeth II was one of the best ones that we've had in the recent years. So from Victoria, they were pretty good at doing their job. But people like George IV, who was a bit of a lad, a drunkard, a womanizer, not very good at doing his job. And then before him, we had George III, who was the one who went mad. He was so-so. And the others, they believed that they ruled by godly consent, and so they gave no feeling about the country. They were there because God had put them there, so whatever they did was right. But since Victoria, most of the monarchs have been devoted to their king or to their country. So here we got Elizabeth II, the late, and it's a £5 coin. And again, all of these are in, I think they're sterling silver, so that is 925. So 925 parts to each 1,000 is silver, the rest is some other alloy. And again, this one, it's number 4542. And it gives you a bit more of the specifications. And there's about, 8,000 coins produced. So it's 925 AG, which is the symbol for silver. Shines through the ages. Here we got a little note. "65 years." So that's sapphire, I never knew that. So she came to power during just after the war, but she lived in England through the war. The royal family did not try to escape. They stood their ground and kept their place in Buckingham Palace throughout the war. That's the royal coach, very elaborate. Shy but strong. And the thing with the royalty, the modern royalty, is they should not get involved in politics. They should be above politics, which is a good thing in a way, because they represent the country and yet do not represent a political party. And there's a bit more about the designer. Each one of these is, I think, designed by different people. I think there is some sort of competition that you have to enter. And if your design wins, then you produce the coin. So it does give a lot of... Another similar one, which is the longest reigning monarch, because she did 50 years, and then the 60 years, 70 years, whatever. 65 years in that case of that one. So again, nice royal mint box. Here we've got quite a simple one. It's just a simple crown. 1952 to 2015, one crown. This is a thick one. It is Elizabeth, slightly different face on this one. Elizabeth II, £5. This one's quite heavy. It is this one's called a Pied-Fort coin, silver proof. Now this means it's double the thickness of a normal coin. Longest reigning monarch, 2015, UK £5, 13.95. Again, we've got the usual information, some more information about the designer. Again, it's 560, so it's sort of grams, which is twice the thickness of a normal one. And again, it gives you a little booklet. Then we've got the 19th century monarchs. George III, IV, William IV, Victoria, Edward VII, George V, Edward VIII, who abdicated, and then George VI. And then we had Elizabeth II. Now everybody has a big thing about Victoria. She was there for 60 odd years, but I have got another coin, but I'll put it on another. As my wife has just come in and she's going to interrupt in a minute. Just been shopping. So, and also we've gone up to 15 minutes, which is quite a lot for one video. And there's a bit about the designer. I hope you found this of some interest, and I'll see you soon. Bye.